Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pesky podcast, where today is a beautiful day for two reasons. First, July 1st is when we're recording this. The Red Sox and everyone else are reporting to training camp officially and finally. And second, it is a glorious day for all of us to hate the Mets. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Don't give me that confused face. You know exactly what day it is.
Here we go.
They owed one man $5.6 million, and that turned into $28.6 million stretched out over 30 years. Mets, you are doing fantastic. All right, so welcome to the Pesky podcast. Arie, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Bro.
It's been a long week for both of us.
Yeah.
But without further ado, let's just get right into it. We appreciate you guys. We have, over the past, we've been doing this for 4 months now. 4 months? Damn, time flies. We've had our two families, our Instagram family and our YouTube family. And some of the people that follow us are actual family. But we have two new groups now. Spotify gang. If you're coming from Spotify, hit that follow button, and iTunes. We officially got our stuff out on both of those. Make sure you guys are checking out everything. And make sure if you're on Spotify, YouTube, or iTunes, go to the Instagram page and check it out. All right.
Give us a follow, too.
With the shameful plugs out of the way.
Yeah.
First, Red Sox are reporting to camp today. First question, are we scared that people might get, because everyone's getting tested today. Are we scared that people are going to get tested and get positive too much to the point where we'll get scared into calling this off? There's a lot of rumors that I've heard about that.
I don't know. So here's the thing. I'm not a huge fan of the testing because the testing merits a lot of concern due to the fact that they can potentially give false positives and false negatives. Mm-hmm. So I understand where they're coming from with testing everybody, but hopefully it doesn't. I mean, I saw something about like Blackman and somebody else on the Rockies who had who tested positive. Yeah. But that's definitely something I didn't really even think about that. Yeah,
that's the part that leaves me really scared because with a lot of these NBA facilities, they're getting tested a lot, and a lot of people are coming out. I think the last report at the NBA was 305 people got tested, and 16 were positive, which isn't terrible numbers if you really think about it. But that's 16 more positives than you'd want. You know?
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw this or not, but I saw, like the NBA, there are players who are now deciding not to play.
Yes. Wasn't Ryan Zimmerman one?
Oh, I didn't know about Ryan Zimmerman. I
heard that might be false. But
Ian Desmond had a big long rant about it, and I was like, dude, you can chill out now.
Was it because I know some people are opting out because, I have young family at home.
That's what his was, and he also tried to bring a lot of like social political issues, and I was like, I don't know where you're getting all that, bro.
Yeah, that's about how it is. But we have finally baseball's coming back sometime soon. We'll be able to watch some spring training games. They have spring training games, right?
I don't think they'll be able to. I think it's just going to be like workouts because what teams are they going to play?
Yeah, true. I mean, it kind of does suck that we're not going to see, we're going to see our famous Red Sox-Yankees matches. We're going to see that 8 times, I think. 8 times throughout the year.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm not too mad at that. No, it's going to be 10 times. 10 times they're going to face against each other. It's going to be fun. So we're going to see them play.
Yeah, go ahead. What were you
We're going to see each of them play against their intersectional opponents 10 times, and I think against the NL East 4 times each.
Which I'm excited about that. Like, you know what I'm really excited about? Out of all of, like, the opening day matchups? New York Yankees versus Washington Nationals. That's going to be fun. Garrett Cole, Max Scherzer. That's going to be a really fun game to watch.
And you can already tell that Arie and I are college students. We're going to be slammed with college work come September. Until then, for the next 2 months, we're just riding this out. We're going to be watching so much baseball that our heads are probably going to explode.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah,
so
man.
excited. We've been waiting, just like everyone else now, 9 months since the MLB ended.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's
at
been,
least. Well, I mean, 12 months since, spring training. Not 12 months, 12 weeks. It's been a full year. Not like a full year.
so close.
Um,
Yes, it has. Yes, it very much has. So, with
so I got
that,
something for you. Um, so I saw this and I thought that was pretty interesting. So the Red Sox have not held spring training in Massachusetts since 1943, when World War II led the team to work out at Tufts University in Medford. And I also heard that Sam Kennedy, the president of the Red Sox, is trying to figure out how they can get players to, because they only have as of now they only can play on the Fenway Park field, but they're contacting other universities and colleges to see if they can use their facilities. So who knows? We might see that too.
mm-hmm.
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Which
Kind
I
of cool
really do
stuff.
appreciate that if college universities could step up and help out the major leagues, because it's already
Yeah,
going to be a tough time for everyone.
it's a
The
tough time.
last I heard, they're probably going to end up using the lodge boxes up at the top of Fenway for everyone to stay in a different lodge box or two people per. So
Gotcha.
it's going to be weird because then they're going to have to call down people at certain times to be like, okay, now it's outfielders time to practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Everyone's
gonna be
still going to
weird.
have to stay socially distant. Like, I don't know. It seems each sport has their own challenges to this because the
Definitely.
one sport that's coming back that really has the least amount of issues is hockey, which is
Yeah.
weird to say because hockey's such a physical sport, but everyone's already wearing a mask, everyone's already got gloves on, so it's not really that bad
Yeah. Well, I
for
mean,
them.
yeah, like you said, everybody's getting affected by this. The NFL, they're breaking up, players who are trying to work out together. And Tom Brady's like, screw that. I'm going and
Oh,
playing with Mike Evans.
I heard
Um,
about Tom Brady.
yeah.
So that's basically all I do. So for people who don't know out there, I work nights over the summer. My typical work schedule is 8 p.m. to 5 a.m., which is no bueno. But literally throughout the time that I'm sitting there working, I just have my headphones on. I got my podcast in. I'm either listening to OMF, Ordway, Merloni, and Fourier, or I'm listening to the Section 10 podcast. Those are my two main ones that I listen
Section
to.
10 rocks.
We love this.
They rock.
That's a new goal. We have two goals for this podcast. One, get ourselves to the point where we can interview Andrew Benintendi
Or
or Dustin
Dustin Pedroia.
Pedroia. I got you. And the second one is get a host, get a show co-hosted with Section 10.
Yeah, bro. Let's do it. Let's.
That would be the one thing. The one thing about that is those guys are very, um, they're not PG like we are.
No, but you know what? Who cares? Who cares? They're freaking hilarious. I love every single one of them.
Our guys could survive. Our audience could survive one episode of
Why
us
not?
being.
Why not? All
All
right.
right,
What else you got? What else you
we've
got?
been rambling for too long. Next, our scares are over from last week. We have Blaze Jordan officially signing, and I'm just gonna stand up, go walk away, and I'm gonna let Arie talk because
I am
he's
so psyched about this, and let me tell you why. So, let me pull up. I might not have it right off. I can try to think of the top of my head. But so, yeah, I saw that and I was like, let's go. We're getting the next Joey Gallo. And I can guarantee that if this kid keeps up, his contacts in it better, his power is going to just skyrocket. His fielding might become the next DH for the Red Sox. Who knows? But this is important. The Red Sox gave him a signing bonus. Did you see what the signing bonus was?
I did not. All I heard from the
$0.75 million.
yeah.
The correct me if I'm wrong, but the average signing bonus for second round picks
He's a
is
third rounder.
$100,000. That's a lot.
That's a
And
lot.
that was reading this article, and they were like, wherever he was going to school, Mississippi, I think. Was it Mississippi?
Yes, Mississippi State.
So Mississippi was like, we're going to give you a scholarship. And the Red Sox countered that with here's $1.75 million. Come play for us. And he's like, yes, let's do it.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. we know that the NCAA is very, very corrupt.
They're screwed up.
We all know that it's not. They pay players all the time, completely illegally. They always pay their players. They're the top players. So there's no doubt in my mind they had some incentive for Blaze Jordan just be like, hey, come to our school, make us better. There had to be at least some stipulation in there. But there's no way they could match the Red Sox $1.75 million.
No.
At that point, like, I mean, yes, you go get your college education, but you're probably not even going to be there for all 4 years. Or go get a $1.75 million signing bonus up front.
Yeah. And like for me, I was thinking to myself, it's like, what are the chances? Like he's gonna go back to school for 1 year, right? And then he's gonna go like re-enter the draft. Like that's kind of weird. But I mean, the interesting thing is they didn't just. So they gave Jordan a signing bonus.
Yes.
They gave Nick York a signing bonus. Wasn't anywhere what they gave Jordan, but it was still like pretty good. So they paid their draft class really pretty well.
Yes, but that's the reason why he fell so far is because no one wanted to take that risk on. Oh, he's been committed to a college since he was 13 years old.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where they had to take a risk. We didn't really like the risk. I didn't really like the risk.
You didn't like it?
I thought he was going to go back to school. After reading that article, I thought he was going to go back to school. I was ready to say, well, go back third round pick. But
yeah,
remember how
I was thinking to myself. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Remember how last episode we were talking about should MLB players have to decide before the draft if they should go to college or not?
Yeah.
We were saying how if he was going to go to college, he would have gotten screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for anyone that follows Instagram, you know that Andrew Benintendi was originally drafted by the Reds. He was not. Yeah. He was not supposed to be a Red Sox until they said, "You know what, Cincinnati, goodbye."
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've been on both ends of the stick, but I still stand with my opinion. You should make a decision before the draft, and then if you want to get drafted, you got to suffer with whatever team gets you. And you don't even have to agree to a contract, I don't think, right? You don't have to agree to the contract. Because
then it would become unrestricted free agent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Because then the MLB
Yeah, I guess that would actually give the players more freedom.
Yeah, because I mean, you have discussions with the teams before the draft even starts, obviously. So you could be like, hey, I'm sorry, but I have no interest in playing for your team. And hang up the phone. They won't draft you if you have no interest playing there.
That's
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. All right.
Although you gotta have a lot of balls to do that, though.
Yeah, you gotta have some cojones.
Yeah.
Right, we've been rambling way too much this episode.
I'm sorry. I was so excited about that. I was jumping for joy in my house.
Okay. So one of the quicker subjects I have is quick moment of silence for all of our minor league players.
I'm sorry, Brendan.
Yeah, all the guys.
Bro. But also at the same time, this could be a year. There's a positive if you look at it the right way. Like you could look at this as like, dude, we can also do a ton of cross training, make myself a better athlete in general. But I mean, that is pretty.
We talked about that last episode. Like, for us, would we rather spend 2 hours stretching or 2 hours in a studio actually doing what we do? You know what I mean?
No, that sucks.
It's one of those things that sucks. Like, I feel really bad for those guys because they've been training their whole life to do it. Some of them are rookies. Like, some of them are just getting in. Like, Brendan Salucci has only played 2 months worth of professional baseball. And now he's got to sit at home all year, which I feel terrible about.
So, and here's my question. I was thinking about this. So, what happens if if a player on the Red Sox gets hurt, right?
Then they call up somebody. They have a...
From where? The whole minor league system is done. So, what do you expect all the minor leaguers to stay in, shape or something?
Yes. They're still under contract. They still need to stay in shape. Remember...
But it's also going to be a ton of, a mental switch from, working out to, here we go. We can actually play a game now.
Yeah, remember what I said is the MLB made it so you have instead of a 40-man, you now have a 60-man.
That's true.
And I'm pretty sure the Red Sox put in theirs, and they didn't fill up on guys. I think they only put in it was either 47 or 53. I can't remember the number. They
really
didn't,
interesting,
because they want to give themselves some flexibility in case there are some free agents later. And a lot of teams are doing that, and that's very smart.
Yeah,
big brain. All right,
big brain.
The last thing about minor leagues is R.I.P. Pawtucket. R.I.P. They are now moving to Worcester, which
okay.
I don't like the new name. Did you hear the new name?
No, but I do like Worcester because it's got. I do like Worcester because you can say that with a really heavy New England accent and no one's gonna look at you funny. Like Pawtucket, okay.
Okay.
But Worcester.
Before I say anything, anybody that says Worcester, you are no longer a fan. Thank you.
Worcester.
You don't know how many people say Worcester, and it's the most annoying thing because that's how it's spelled. It's Worcester, which in all sense means Worcester, but it's Worcester. All right, it's Worcester.
All right, so what's the new name then? What's
it's the Worcester Woo Sox.
Oh my gosh!
Yep. Yep. We decided that was good.
Gosh.
We decided that was a good idea.
The Worcester Sox kind of sounds like that's pretty New England. Worcester,
yeah.
But the Worcester Woo Sox.
Woo Sox.
Oh jeez. Gosh.
I don't know anymore. We traded in the Paw Sox for the Woo Sox. Even the Paw Sox made sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, man. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. No, that's weird. So what's their mascot gonna be? Let me look it up. Now.
I don't want to know. While he's looking that up, I'll just ramble like we've done
do it, bro.
The whole day. Like I love myself some minor league baseball. And it sucks that we couldn't have the revenue to keep it going. Arie, what are you doing?
I'm just laughing. Oh, jeez. What the heck is this?
Put it up on screen.
Put it up. Oh, okay. All right. You want to see that? That's what we're doing, Chris.
Oh, my God. That's not it. That's not what we're doing.
That's what's going to be on their hats?
Oh, my God.
Crap.
Oh. Lord help us.
Look at this. Oh. We need a second to breathe here.
All right. So, people that aren't watching the video, aka our Spotify and iTunes guys, all right, please either A, go over to the YouTube channel and check it out, or B, look up Worcester Woo Sox and just be ashamed. Sorry. Oh, this is terrible. This is horrible. All right.
We need to cut and move on.
Spotify and iTunes users, please go watch the YouTube video. It's so much funnier.
Okay, give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Last thing is the MLB betting odds. So with our MLB betting odds, last week we talked about championship odds. First team was the Dodgers, second team was the Yankees, which I didn't agree with. And then I think it was Astros, Twins, Braves, Athletics, Mets. Who was 8? I can't remember who 8 was. 9 was Tampa Bay. 10 was White Sox. Who was 8? Did I already say Athletics? Yeah, I said Athletics. I can't remember. 8th team. I apologize. But we went off on Joe because that was a terrible list.
Joe?
Stop it.
Get your stuff together.
All right. But the MLB betting odds for wins. Okay. And we're just going to go through this. We're just going to say over or under. Okay?
Okay, cool.
So, Yankees at 37.5. Over or under?
Out of 60 games?
Out of 60 games.
So does that mean that they're going to be winning 36 and then
That means they're
losing?
going to be. That means
I'm
you have
confused.
to pick: are they going to win 37 or less, or 38 or more?
37.
I'm saying they're going over.
I'm saying over. That's pretty low. That's pretty even I know we're Sox fans. Yankees are good though. They're a good team. We have to admit it.
Yankees are
that's
good.
pretty yeah, that's low for me. That's really low.
Rays at 34.
That's low for me.
34 and a half. 34 and a half. I'm taking the under on that one.
Really?
I don't see too much coming out of the Rays this year.
So here's my thing. When I say over, I'm talking like one game, not by much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, understandable. Red Sox at 31 and a half.
Nah.
So they're thinking this is going to be a barely 500 team. And I like to quote the Section 10 podcast when they said the Red Sox could wake up in the morning and get 45 wins. All right, I'm not thinking we're going to get 45, but I'm going to say we're going to hit 37, 38. So I'm definitely taking
the projected?
31 and a half.
Nah, that's low, bro. I would say a solid 30. Is 36 too high?
No. I said 37, 38. Yeah. So, Blue Jays at 28 and a half. I'm saying Blue Jays are 500 even. I like their team. They're young. They're strong. Yeah. And those young teams are definitely going to have an advantage in the first part of the season because they're going to be pumped up. They're going to be ready to go. So those three.
Also you have to also consider the fact they got Hyun-Jin Ryu, right?
Hyun-Jin, what's his name?
Yeah. They have Hyun-Jin, what's his name?
If you don't know that, go back to episode 1.
So
Beam right up that
immediately is going to help their pitching staff. Their pitching staff isn't crazy, but that's going to help. You know.
Yes, absolutely.
I think they have some other guys, but you're right. They're a young team, and I agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm. The combination of Vladimir Guerrero, Bichette, and their second baseman, whose name I can never remember. Do you remember it?
Kevin Biggio. Come on, Biggio. That's it. Yep. So those three are really going to come out of the gate swinging hot. And it wouldn't surprise me if in the first 13 games of the season, this team goes 10-3, 9-4, and we're going to be like, this is the race we're talking about. Blue Jays. Talking about the Blue Jays.
Shut up. Bro. I don't want to talk about it. All right. Okay. This is the Blue Jays we're talking about. You know, this team's supposed to go, and then they're going to definitely cool off. So I'm saying.
Yeah, I think so too. But also, here's something that I was thinking about before you talk about the Orioles, if you even want to talk about the Orioles.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. When you have a normal 162-game season, the first month of the season, the first 2 months of the season, it takes teams a while to heat up.
Yes.
But also at the same time, they're starting in April, right?
We're going to be starting in July. Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. It's just going to be really interesting to see how these teams are going to, you know, which teams are going to heat up. Because the Yankees are notorious for, like, waking up late and be like, oh, we're good. We got it. Sorry.
Okay. We're actually playing baseball now?
Yeah, literally.
They're like current day version of Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
He basically just would wake up hungover, pitch 3 hours later, and pitch a no-hitter.
What a legend.
Yes.
But that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, it's going to be really interesting to see how these teams are going to heat up. Because you're totally right. The Blue Jays could literally be like a complete surprise and be like, oh, yeah, we're like for the first 2 weeks of the season. By the way, if you haven't noticed, we're in first place. Or the Rays, you know? Mm-hmm. I think the Yankees are I'm gonna say this right now. I think the Yankees are not going to be I don't know if I want to say this because it probably won't happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees were not in first or second, if they were lower, like third. You know? That's all I gotta say. I think so, because they're gonna have.
I'm saying they're winning, no doubt. Unless
definitely they're winning the division, but I don't think they're gonna be starting out the season right on top.
Yeah. I can see that.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Finally. The Orioles. Over under.
Moment of silence.
Over under at 22.5.
I would say, okay, they don't have Mancini. I would say under.
And they don't have VR either.
They don't have VR. They got nobody. They have, who do they have? They have Michael Givens. They have John Means.
Okay, so let's look at this, and I want to look at this from like a true standpoint for just a second before we end the episode. Before we go to our favorite part of the episode, I should say, which I already know because it's kind of obvious this time what Arie's takes is going to be. So, the Orioles 9, maybe? I'm going 9 wins throughout the year. I'm saying because if we look at it, they have to face against the Blue Jays, much better team. Rays, much better team. Red Sox, don't even talk about it. And Orioles versus Yankees, the average score is going to be 17-3. All right.
Also, if you haven't noticed, last year, Gleyber Torres just completely mopped the floor with the Orioles.
Yep.
So I'm not going to say 9. I'm going to say they're not making 20 wins.
You'll say sub 20. All right.
Sub 20. Yeah.
I
could be wrong. Who knows? This also could be a year where you see a ton of players like, I can't even, like, half decent players, kind of step it up a little bit. Who knows? Because they don't have Mancini, the big power source,
What are we going to see? Chris Davis then?
No, we're not going to see Chris Davis. Chris Davis should retire.
Yes. He made his money. But
he didn't really make the money. The contract they gave him was
generous, to say the least.
But it's not as bad as the Mets.
Bobby Bonilla! All right. Yeah. So let's get into Arie's takes. Let's talk about what we got to talk about. We already know what it is.
You already know what it is. You already know what it is. This week, Patriots signed Cam Newton. And I was like, whoa. All right. I see.
And you remember what I said when we were talking about, I think it was...
We were talking about Stidham.
we're talking about the Patriots and how they were going to be. I think this was episode 15 or 16.
Like last episode, I think, yeah.
No, last episode we talked about the Madden 21 cover.
Two episodes ago. Yeah.
So, I wanted Jameis, to be completely honest with everyone out there. 25-year-old quarterback who has an arm, just needs to hone in the interceptions. Because if we had Jameis who had that same year that he did last year, but 10 interceptions, all-pro player.
That's fair.
Right? Pro Bowl guy. So, with Cam, I think the same thing could potentially happen. You've coached greatest Bill Belichick, who's proven that he's the greatest coach of all time. Mm-hmm. The greatest.
Definitely.
So, you need to take that into effect with having Cam Newton, who's been stuck with Ron Rivera, who's not a bad coach, but is nowhere near the level of Bill Belichick. And I think he's really going to elevate his play, not to the point of his MVP season, but pretty damn close.
So here's my thing. So, yeah, you're right. Cam was kind of stuck there because he had no receiving core. So he kind of had to learn how to run the ball himself.
Yep.
So, first of all, I think he's not going to run as much because he's older. I wouldn't be surprised if he runs, but I don't think he's anywhere tip-top shape where he was MVP season. But I think, he's going to have a way better receiving core. He's going to have Edelman, who's a complete beast.
Not really. That's all we got is Edelman.
No, we have Sanu, who's actually slimmed down, I've heard, and could potentially be better. I was talking to one of my the Patriots fan who was like, I actually like the odds, and was like breaking it down. You have some people, Mm-hmm. We could see, I'm going to give him a shot. Who knows? But he looks good in the uniform. I saw a picture of him in all white, and I was like,
yes, those uniforms look nice on him.
Put a picture.
And I feel bad. I'll put a picture in editing, but I feel bad for him because Carolina gave up on him. And I got a buddy who I went to college with down in New Jersey, and he was just like, we were talking about the other day, and he's like, I hate it because he's a Carolina fan. Yeah. And he's been a Cam Newton fan ever since Cam's been in college.
Yeah.
So he's like, I hate to see him go, but Carolina did give up on him.
It was kind of a slap in the face, to be honest, because it
was.
Yeah, sorry, Cam, you're going to leave. But we're going to take Teddy Bridgewater. who's Teddy Bridgewater. So it's like, I'm kind of happy for Newton, because it's like, okay, you know what? You just got completely slapped in the face. Here, go to the Patriots with the best coach and the best defense, not the best offense, but it's an upgrade over Stidham. I still would like to see Stidham, play a little bit, just so that he can show, a little bit. But who knows?
Work yourself, basically, because this deal is very, very small.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to want to work for that. Basically, the same thing Ryan Tannehill did. Went to a team for very little money, and then got signed to $117 million. That's what he's going to be looking for. So it wouldn't surprise me if we only have Cam Newton for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then we go draft a quick QB.
Yeah. Well, I'm Trevor Lawrence.
Nah, they can't tank that far.
I don't know. I've been like, that would be cool to see. But they definitely have, if they don't pick a quarterback next year in the draft, I'm going to seriously question,
Yeah.
I was expecting them to take a quarterback this year, but it didn't.
All right. So I'm not sure how long this episode's going to be. It's probably going to be longer, mainly because we just sit here and talk forever.
Short. I'm looking at the time here. It's pretty short.
If I had to guess, it's going to be around 34 minutes. So, with that being said, roll that outro music. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate every single one of you. We will see you guys next time.
Peace.
Sometimes I like